Hello everyone, Namaste. Welcome to a brand new episode of RightCast. I'm your host Icha Pandey. Joining us today is very special guest all the way from USA, Mr. Seth Skelton from the Midwestern State University. He is the Interim Director of Global Education. Today we'll be delving into various topics about USA and Midwestern State University. So welcome to show, Seth.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing today?
I'm good too. Thank you so much for asking. So how are you feeling here at Nepal? It's first time.
Well, it's a very interesting place. It's a long way from Texas, for sure. But the people have been incredibly friendly. The food has been great so far. I'm enjoying learning about the history and culture of Nepal and want to continue exploring. I know it's festival season, so there's a lot of things happening, but I'm very happy to be here and honored to help students learn more about their opportunities in Texas.
Wow, that's great. Seth, I would like to initiate our conversation asking you about USA, right? According to US Embassy, the students going to USA has been increased by 27.9%. So what do you have to say? Like, why Nepali students are going to US and keeping the top priority list?
Yeah, well, I can attest to that increase that you mentioned, 27%. The number of Nepali students on our campus has continued to grow over the past several years. And now Nepal is the #1 source of international students for Midwestern State University. So something that I'm proud of, I'm happy about. But I think there's a few different reasons. One is affordability. Texas is known as being a very low cost of living state. Tuition is low, so it's very affordable. The location near Dallas is great because there's excellent job opportunities for students once they graduate. They can apply for optional practical training where they can have work authorization for 1 to 3 years. Well, Texas is booming. The economy is booming. The population is booming. There's a very large Nepali community in Texas around Dallas. And so I think a lot of students have family or friends that have moved to Texas or that have visited. So there's just an awareness of the welcoming feeling there. I think our students feel at home at our university, and so they're happy, they're successful, and they want to take advantage of the excellent academic opportunities, get a really great degree at a low price, and then have good work opportunities around friends and family afterward.
Absolutely. Recently, we had a conclave and EDU fair here in Nepal, and many students wanted to go to Texas. So that was like, we were so happy, because all the relatives are there in Texas. So let's talk about the university, Midwestern State University. Why do you think it stands out for the international students?
Okay, well, I feel like Midwestern State University and the city of Wichita Falls, where the university is located, has a very open and welcoming environment. We have been hosting international students to our campus for 25 years. So we have a lot of experience doing this. We know all of the steps that students should follow. We have helped them to be very successful. So we have a lot of great success stories that are constantly being told. We have a really high retention rate. 91% of international students that come to our campus graduate with a degree. That's higher than the domestic retention rate. So we're, again, very proud of that. We feel like students get the support that they need from the Global Education Office. So I help students and partner with our recruitment partners here in Nepal through the application process, admissions. We offer immigration advising. We pick students up from the airport and bring them back to campus. We help them get settled into their housing, their cell phone setup, and bank accounts. So all of these pieces of the puzzle, which can be kind of challenging if a student was doing it on their own, we have an entire team dedicated to helping them through all of these barriers. And so that's why students are happy, they're successful, and we want more.
Yeah, obviously. So what about the popular courses from this region?
Right. So the most popular courses right now are nursing, computer science, business analytics, which we have available at the undergraduate and graduate levels, engineering, such as mechanical engineering and electrical engineering. Those are going to be the biggest programs. I would say, yeah, computer science is really popular, but any of our health sciences programs and biology really is popular as well.
Okay. So what is the criteria? Many students are in dilemma, like if they are fit in that university or not. So could you please brief about that?
Sure. So if students have a grade point average of 2.75 or higher on a 4.0 scale for their grade 10, 11, and 12 transcript, then they are guaranteed admission as long as they meet English proficiency requirements. So 100 on the Duolingo, 79 on TOEFL, 6.0 on IELTS. Any of those scores or higher will be great. And we accept other tests as well. But yeah, even if a student has a grade point average a little bit lower than 2.75, they can still be admitted. There's just some additional review that has to happen. But typically 2.75 or higher, guaranteed admission. We offer discounted tuition rate. There's additional scholarship opportunities beyond that. But yeah, we've had a lot of success with students. So I want to be clear, about the expectations.
Okay, so many international students who are going to USA, it's quite difficult for them to find a job in the initial phase. So what about off-campus and on-campus job?
Sure. So initially, international students are limited to on-campus work.
Okay.
And I will say that our university does a really good job of prioritizing jobs for international students, because the various departments know that international students are limited to on-campus work. So this semester, I had many students that got jobs in housing, as resident assistants, and they were on cleaning crews, different things like that. And then a lot of them got hired as well into the dining services. So they're helping with food preparation, cleaning of the kitchen and the dining halls, things of that nature. So we also have students that work in different administrative offices. So there's a wide variety. They can even be tutors as well and work in academic support. So we have a job fair every semester where on-campus employers will come and hire international students. And then we also do help students to apply for CPT, which is curricular practical training, where they can be authorized to participate in an internship off campus. And then when they get ready to graduate, that is when we help them to apply for OPT, optional practical training, where they can work anywhere in the US in their field. Some universities do charge for this service to help with the application. Our service is completely free, and they can make an appointment with one of the members of my team in the Global Education Office, and we'll help them with their application. And being in Texas is great because there's a lot of internship opportunities and full-time job opportunities after graduation.
Okay, that's great. So as students are not used to working here in Nepal, right? They are going out of their comfort zone and going to USA. They're used to, the parents here, they have backup. So what advice would you like to give to the students?
Okay, great.
To balance their, personal and academic career both?
Sure. So a few things. One, as they prepare to go to study in the US, take the SAT. It's not required, but it's strongly recommended. It's going to help with scholarships, helps with just so many other different things. I think it just shows the visa officer your seriousness as a student as well, that you've prepared. Beyond that, I think new international students should join a student organization. For example, our Nepali Student Association at Midwestern is very active, over 100 students involved. That's going to help make social connections, help with the homesickness that sometimes students feel, and just kind of create a community. I encourage students to volunteer, to join other student groups, to attend university events. All of these different things that are going to help them mature as a person. They're going to find a home, feel more comfortable. And again, it helps with scholarship application. The more experience they have, the more they'll grow as a person. There's great leadership opportunities. And really, that's the goal of an American university, is to educate the next generation of leaders and global citizens. So all of these components will help a student be most successful and come back and see their family and be a changed person.
Right.
And that's really the goal.
Okay, so talking about the ASAT, GRE, GMAT, is it required for the master's students also?
So the GRE or GMAT is only required for Masters in Computer Science. All of our other graduate level programs have waived the GRE. So admission is pretty straightforward, no additional requirements. But computer science, which is a more challenging program, very technical, of course, they do like to see a GRE for that.
Okay. So being interim director of global education, okay, what do you think that students face challenges there, like international students? What are the challenges they face there?
Well, I do think that the educational system in the U.S. is different. There are a lot of requirements to obviously attend class every day, and then there's hybrid components, okay, where you have in-person requirements and then online requirements. And sometimes navigating the online platforms can be challenging as a new student. So it's important to use the resources available to students. So when new students come to our campus, we have an in-person orientation where we invite directors of other offices to come and speak, introduce themselves, and let the students know what services are available. So that could be tutoring, that could be counseling, that could be job help, it could be immigration. All of these different support services are going to be available for students. So we want to educate them. We want them to take advantage of those opportunities so that they earn good grades and earn their degree.
Okay. So in your opinion, what are the major skills students need to develop, during their 4 years degree or 2 years degree?
Yeah, great question. I really think that communication skills are really important. Not just the ability to speak, but the ability to speak confidently and in front of groups, public speaking. And it's all about also working in a team, being able to collaborate with other people to work on a project to meet a shared goal. When students develop skills of collaboration, of leadership, of teamwork, of solid communication, that is going to help them in their professional career, because so many companies in the US and around the world have a very international field. There's going to be people from all different backgrounds and cultures working there. And the ability to work together, communicate, problem solve, those are going to help them later on in life. And as a liberal arts college, which we are, there's a strong emphasis on developing a well-rounded student who can be successful in a variety of areas, be very adaptable. So that's all very important.
So let's talk about the legal hours, working hours for the international students.
Sure. So when class is in session, students can work up to 20 hours per week. So it's a part-time job. There will be opportunities, though, when class is out of session. For example, during spring break or during winter break, when students can exceed 20 hours per week. They can go, since they're not in class, they could potentially work up to 40 hours if their office needed them to work that much.
Okay. So many international students are in dilemma if they are not aware of some new changes, So are there any changes right now? Would you like to give any advice for the international students if they want to know about USA right now? Who are applying?
Sure. Well, I will tell you that, and you may already be aware, and the viewers may be aware, students, but countries such as Canada and Australia have put in some restrictions on international student enrollment and made the process more challenging. Right now, the US is wide open. I mean, I understand that there are challenges in booking your visa interview, but in terms of visa approvals, welcoming atmosphere at universities and at cities and cities across the country, I feel like we want more students. The policies reflect that. The U.S. State Department is approving student visas, and so really there's a big green light saying go, go, go. So that's the message that I want to share, and that's what I'm feeling from students as well. And they're just really excited to come. There's just a lot of positive energy right now.
Okay. I myself have felt that a lot of students want, to go to US first. They have the top first priority. But when they get rejected at the first time, they get a lot of disappointment. What advice would you like to give to them, for second time and third time when they approach to interview?
Sure. Well, I know that can be incredibly disappointing to not be approved for the visa, and I hate when that happens. What I tell students is, let's try again. You can defer your application without any penalty. So let's get you an updated acceptance letter, an updated I-20. It's possible that maybe you missed the scholarship deadline the first time. Now you will meet the scholarship deadline. So there's an opportunity to get an additional scholarship that you missed before. So that can be helpful. I do think it's important to try to better explain during the interview why you need to study at Midwestern State University, why the education that you're wanting to obtain is not available here in Nepal. But you have to confidently share that to the officer in the interview and be very clear about how you'll fund yourself. Maybe at the first interview you weren't sure what your parents their job was, or you weren't really sure how they were going to pay. So this time around, be very sure of what they're going to do to support you and clearly share that with the officer. And then your plan to return home. That is really important because they want to see you as a student. You're applying for a student visa. And so that study plan to return home is incredibly important. And sometimes I think students may not clearly share that in the interview, and that can be a cause for a potential denial. So that would be my advice.
Okay. So there are a lot of rumors, like if students go to the Texas, because there are lots of Nepali community, the visa will definitely get rejected because they have Nepali there. So they try to explore other state. What do you have to say on this?
Well, I've heard that, but we have students that get admitted, approved for their visa all the time that do have friends and family in Texas. So there may be a perception that would cause students to be denied, but in reality, we have approvals regularly for students who have friends and family in Texas already, and it hasn't really been a big problem, thankfully. But I do understand the concern, and if students, apply for a different university and get approved on a visa of a different state, and then decide that they do want to, in fact, come to Texas and study at Midwestern State, we can support them through that transfer process. Certainly that's an option if they're concerned. Or, sometimes students get to a university and they feel like, I don't know if this is a good fit for me. I really wanted to go to MSU, and now I'm going to make that happen, And so we help students do that every semester as well.
Okay. So let's talk about accommodation. Does university provide accommodation
Yes.
on campus, or is it third party? What is it?
Yeah, it's a great question. So yes, we do. The university does provide on-campus accommodation. It's discounted heavily for the first year. So if a new student lives on campus in one of our discounted residential halls, Killingsworth or Pierce, it's about a 50% discount their first year. So for the meal plan and for their room, it's about $3,000 per semester for the first year. So about $6,000 for living expenses.
Okay. So as we wrap up, I would like to ask you to give us advice to our international students who are aspiring to go to abroad right now. Any few tips for them who are applying for January intake?
Of course. I would say use the help of a professional consultancy. I think that's a great first step. Talk with your friends and family. Do research about the university with your counselor to find the best fit for you. Make sure that you've taken the SAT and try to make connections with students that are already at the university. For example, my university, we hold virtual information sessions where students can join, ask questions, they can talk to each other, they can talk to me, they can meet current students. We also do I've created WhatsApp group chats for new students every semester so they can meet each other before they arrive. I think that just helps them to feel a little bit more comfortable. And when they talk with current students, then they become more confident and more excited about coming. Yes, sometimes they may be nervous, but we want to put those nerves at ease, help them feel more comfortable and confident. Make them feel at home, absolutely. So that starting to get involved, meet other people, expand your social network. All of those things are going to help you, again, to be more successful at university.
Yeah, networking is definitely important.
Agree.
Thank you so much, Skip, for joining us. It was lovely talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.